Hopefully, just in case you haven't heard, the Wi-Fi is good down here. So the closer you get, the better the Wi-Fi. I'm going to keep saying that until everybody knows. And everyone's moving forward. Perfect. Thank you, guys. So the next session right now, please put your hands together from Vertical Measures. Quinn Wisson, everybody. Please give her a round of applause.
I'm Quinn Wisson. I'm super excited to be here. This is an amazing auditorium. I taught the pre-conference content marketing workshop yesterday, and I found out after that this was built in 1919, I believe. So thanks for having me here. So if we're going to go ahead and jump right into things, I'm talking about optimizing your content and the top 10 SEO mistakes. If you don't know what I look like, this is me on a good hair day. I am the marketing manager for Vertical Measures. We're a 50-person search, social, and content marketing agency in Phoenix, Arizona. And I am also a columnist. I write for CMI and Marketing Land. So a couple of things that we're going to talk about today are the most common mistakes we see with optimization. Number two, how you can optimize specific types of content, images, videos, actual written content. And number three, what can we do to protect ourselves and position ourselves for the future of optimization and SEO? So I'm just going to leave this up here. I'll let you read it. So I hope you never have a reason to hide a dead body. But if you did, page 2 of the Google search results will be a good spot. Now, of course, I don't know how many of us have actually clicked to page 2 of the Google search results lately, but we all want, as digital marketers, to land on page 1. So how do we do that? Obviously, we need to create really great content that is on the end of someone's search and someone's questions, but we also need to optimize our content correctly. If we're going to spend 20 hours creating a piece of content, at least spend 20 minutes optimizing it. So let's go into the most common problems we find with optimization. Now, I got all of this top 10 list from my internal SEO team that works on audits and strategies all day long. And I said, what do you see most commonly with mistakes? Number 1 was unintentional duplicate content. Now, the key word here is unintentional. You don't even know that it's happening. Now, this can happen with a global, worldwide retailer, but it can also happen with your local mom and pop, say a carpet cleaning company. It's non-discriminatory with unintentional duplicate content. So how does this happen? How does it become unintentional? Well, it has a lot to do with your site architecture, especially if you're using a content management system. So say you're using WordPress, very, very common WordPress, our CMS system. This has a structure and a site architecture where it has lots of different folders. So say I'm writing a blog post on content marketing. I am the author. I tag it with the category of content marketing. And I also have a whole archive page of the date that it was created. Now, there's a lot of different pages with the exact same content pointing to that article. Now, Google doesn't know which is which. Google is not so smart. I mean, it is very smart. It's an algorithm, but it is a robot. So if we have a lot of different pages with the same content, it's going to say, hey, you're manipulating my search engine results, and I don't know which one to look at. So what you want to do with unintentional duplicate content is speak to anyone, your webmaster, your technical SEO, your developer even, and say, please look into canonical tags. Now, canonical tags are the way that you can tell Google, this is my important page, and this one is not. So say I have a content marketing services page, and then I have a lot of blog posts on the same topic. I want to make sure that all those blog posts tell Google pointing to that canonical services page. So this is how you set up the correct site architecture, and you get rid of this SEO problem. You also want to focus on the no-follow, the no-index tag. This is the biggest problem we see, kind of surprising, unintentional duplicate content. Number 2 is bad backlinks. We don't want this anymore. Years ago, we used to hire link building agencies overseas to build links for us, and they weren't even that relevant. Maybe they were on porn sites, payday loan sites. They weren't even relevant to the content or the business that we run. So bad backlinks are a manipulative, spammy way to game the Google search results or the Bing results or the Yahoo results. That's number 2. Number 3 is over-optimization and cannibalization of your target keywords. Now this is when you have, say, a page, if we're going with the content marketing example, content marketing services. And then you start to stuff that page with a lot of the same or similar keywords. Content marketing strategy services, content marketing agency, whatever. What it means is you have not created a natural page with naturally written content. And you are, again, trying to game the system of the search engine results and what is produced through the algorithm. Cannibalization is a little different. It's a cannibal, so you have a page over here trying to rank for something, but you have a very similar page over here that is cannibalizing the keyword authority of that other page. A big no-no in the optimization world. Number 4 is bad or duplicate title tags. Now this is just a lazy mistake. So say you have duplicate title tags, that's your page title. You have to ask yourself, why do I have a page here with this certain title, and then I have a very similar or the exact same page here with the same title? What's the point of the page? Why did you even create it in the first place? With this mistake, you need to very much focus on creating unique content for every single page that is providing relevant, useful information for the people that are finding it on the search results. So ask yourself before you create any page or before you create or update any page, is this a unique page and why am I creating it in the first place? Number 5, bad and duplicate meta descriptions. Kind of the same thing. If you're duplicating the meta descriptions, what are you doing it for? Create unique and relevant content for each page that you have. Poorly optimized images and video. This is our number 6 mistake. Now, don't just expect to upload a photo from your camera and have it perform for you. You actually need to optimize the images and video, and they can actually start to rank on their own. This is something that a lot of people forget about, but can be very important for optimization. Number 7 is page load time. A big mistake, but a lot of people are getting better with this. So Google actually has this baked into its algorithm now. So the way that it actually adjusts and figures out what your page load time is every single element on your page needs to load before it says, okay, this is done, this site has loaded. And Google can watch. They can see, are people coming to the website and bouncing off very quickly? And how many seconds does it actually take for every element to load on the page? Now, don't get too worried here. If it's only a couple of 1/10 of a second, it's no big deal. But if you're getting up to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds for your page to load, A, you're gonna get a high bounce rate because people are waiting for your content, and B, Google's gonna see that your page elements are not loading in a good time, and you most likely will see a drop in your rankings because of it. So page load time is a big deal. It is baked into the Google algorithm now. Number 8, poor or thin content. Now this really goes back to 2011 when Google released the algorithm update Panda. And this really targeted thin or weak content. Basically, they wanted to clean up the web with a lot of manipulative sites that would have maybe 200 or 100 words on many, many different pages on their website. So nowadays, we need to think about what are people searching for, what questions are they asking, and as marketers and as business owners and as content creators, how can we be the best answer on the end of their search? If we're writing 100 words, if we have a ton of pages with relatively low value content, are we doing that? Probably not. So poor or thin content is a very important mistake that many people are still making with optimization. Number 9, keyword misfocus. This kind of goes back to number 3. It's just another manipulative, spammy tactic that we see when you have a page about content marketing and you have a lot of keyword phrases about some completely unrelated term. Keyword misfocus, just another lazy, manipulative tactic. Now this one I had to learn the hard way. This is number 10, our last one. A blocked page or a whole blocked website. So this actually happens a lot when, say, you're creating a website, and I've done this. I do some freelance design work, and I've built a whole website for my client on my own test server, And of course, I don't want that to be crawled, right? I don't want Bing or Yahoo or Google to come crawl it while I'm building it. And then I move and I migrate the whole website to my client's server, and I actually forget to unblock that from happening. So I am still blocking any search engines from crawling and indexing my site. So you can see up here, I put indexability issues. If you're blocking your site, I mean, you don't even have an optimization mistake anymore. You're actually not even getting ranked or indexed. So here are the most common problems that we do find with optimization. So I wanted to share a real-world example of how this has happened in the past. So is anyone in here familiar with Marcus Sheridan? If you haven't heard of him, he's a really interesting guy. So he had a pool company, very everyday fiberglass pool company, and back during 2008 in the recession, he was either going to be bankrupt, or he said, well, let's try some new strategy that I've heard of, content marketing. And so we got all the sales guys together, and they started creating a lot of content. And the story goes, he was very successful. He was able to generate $2.5 million in sales from one single article, and he transformed his business. So nowadays, he comes and he speaks at conferences, and he's a guru, and he also consults. So this example here is a limousine company in New York City. And basically, he was consulting with this company, and he was doing his normal process that's been very successful, and he was creating lots of content for them, creating lots of answers to people's questions about limousines in New York City. And so he came to us. We saw him at an award ceremony in Arizona, and this was about late last year. And he said, hey, you know, I am doing all this content marketing for my client, and I am not seeing any results. I've never had this happen before. Please, can you take a look? So our SEO team took a look, and this is what we found. After 5 months of intense content marketing with Marcus, we identified a penalty going back 2 years. So their website had been penalized for that long, and they didn't even know it. That's a big deal. It affects your rankings. It affects your traffic. There was also a weird duplicate content issue, but it kind of goes back to how we used to do content on websites. We would create those little boilerplate pieces of information. You know, this XYZ limousine company is based in New York, and you would put that on your footer or your sidebar, and this site had 259 instances of duplicate content. That's not good. And then also there was duplicate or near duplicate content in the titles and page content, going back to one of the mistakes I was talking about. There was really no value in that content. One of the biggest issues was I think it was all of their images and about half of their HTML or text content was hosted externally. So they had a third party hosting a lot of their content. So basically, when Google came and crawled their website, they were seeing that all of this great content basically belonged to someone else. So they were not getting credit for it on their own domain. That's a huge problem. And also, I mean, this was probably something that they wouldn't tell us, but they probably hired a link building company at some point, and they had a lot of spammy anchor text and bad backlinks in their portfolio. So within 60 days, we kind of put together some recommendations. They implemented it. Within 2 months, their traffic doubled. And then I kind of checked back in with them recently, and they're 400 to 500% up from where they were. So this goes to the point of kind of if you're building a house, you wouldn't build your house without laying a strong foundation, right? You don't want your house to crumble. It's an investment. You're putting a lot of work into it, and you don't want it to just fall over. So don't build content on a foundation of shoddy SEO. It's the same thing. Do not start content marketing or do not keep going forward with content marketing until you know that your SEO foundation is strong and is built to last and is built to boost up your content marketing efforts. And of course, if you confuse Google, you will lose. This is what that limousine company did. They were confusing Google all over the place. Bad links, duplicate titles, third-party hosting. You need to be very clear in your optimization what you want Google to look at. It is a robot, and it needs to be told what to do. But we have a lot of opportunities. Here's an example of a Google search results page, and you can see here I've highlighted all of the places that we can rank. And this is varied. This is written content on the top. This is images and videos, and we also have local places of interest. So it's not just written content that we can rank for and optimize. We can optimize many different formats of content. So what are the core elements of optimization? Links. Links are the currency of the internet still. And I actually read this report that was pretty interesting. It was put out by Google, I think it was last year around this time. And they ran their algorithm, they ran it without using any links as signals. And the whole thing utterly failed. Links are the currency of how Google and how all search engines work. It's how a little robot comes to your website, sees where to go to the next link and the next website, and also comes back and discovers yours. So links are still very important, even though link building tactics and black hat tactics are not. Number 2, title and title tags, meta descriptions. These are things that show up in the actual search results. And then the H1 tag is your page title that should be unique for every single piece of content that you create. Images, page load times, we talked about this. The freshness of content. This is a big one too. So we talked about this in my content marketing workshop yesterday, is the more content that you can create on a regular basis, the more times that these little search robots can come back and crawl your website. So it's basically like a little signal, hey, we have content, come back, check us out, and it will. And when you do that, you have more pages indexed on your site after Google or Bing or Yahoo start to see that you are an authoritative voice and you are a trusted source of content on the web. And then the last one here is new. Well, not new. I mean, mobile is very important in all of digital marketing. But I want to talk about the specific update that came out in April, specifically April 21st. Google said, we are now changing our algorithm to make sure that we are getting great mobile websites for our searchers. So this was released on the 21st, and they said, starting April 21st, we will be expanding our use of mobile friendliness as a ranking signal. Ranking signal. The change will affect mobile searches in all languages worldwide and will have a significant impact on our search results. So as you can see in this example in the picture, this is actually from a search on your phone or your tablet, and you will see that any site that is mobile friendly actually gets that designation right on the search engine results page. It says mobile friendly. I mean, how more apt are you to click on a link that says mobile friendly when you know that it's going to be a good user experience for you as a consumer and as a searcher? As a business, we need to make sure that we're in line with this with our site design as well. If you're worried about this, if you just don't know, you can actually go and check it out. There's a test, a Google mobile friendly test. Type in your URL. This one was for our website. It said, awesome, this page is mobile friendly. But then sometimes it will say, bummer, you need to get up to date with what you're doing online. And just to say about the actual design, a lot of people used to have the mobile website, which was separate from the actual desktop website. But nowadays, Google actually recommends a responsive website. So that means you only have one website, and that responds to the certain device size that it's being viewed on, so tablet, phone, or whatever. So it's a different user experience that Google recommends. So that's the mobile-friendly update. So title tags, super important. They have changed the font size in the past year on the Google search results page. So whereas you might have gotten 75 characters in your title tags, nowadays you're only getting about 55. If you'd like to test out your title tags before creating any piece of content, I personally always use the Moz title tag tool. You can paste it in and see if it fits. Same thing goes for the meta description. It used to be about 155. It might be about 115 now. You want to make sure that this is unique and it fits into the space provided. H1 tags, these are heading tags. Obviously, heading 1 is the most prominent page title that is unique to your piece of content. But then heading 2, heading 3, and so on can give Google and other search engines the opportunity to see what is the hierarchy on this page. What should I be looking for? What is the prioritization of content? And also for us as people viewing the content, we can kind of scan visually and see exactly where the section headings are. These are usually very simple to create inside your content management system. Images, I mentioned this before, super important to optimize. Nowadays, we have that image tab on the actual Google search results, and it's its own search engine. It's all images, so you can rank here. And many of those images get pulled into the actual main search results page, like I showed you in one of the previous slides. So don't just upload it from your camera. Make sure it's a optimized size. Make sure if it's a picture of a red sports car, the file name matches that. And also make sure that you are using the alternative text. This is very important because the Google or the search engine robots cannot see. They're not people, but they can read. So if you use an alternative text of saying red sports car, then they can know that this is how I can categorize this in the search engine results page and in my image search results. And obviously context matters as well on where it is placed within your content. So how to optimize videos, kind of similar, but obviously change the file name, always have a unique title and description, and remember that videos are really a distribution channel for your content. So if you have a website here, and you have a video, say, hosted on YouTube or Vimeo, the whole point eventually is that people will discover your video here and come back to your website. So always include a link within the description, a live link, and push people back there. So we've talked a lot about mistakes and kind of different types of optimization, and now I did mention the fact that we can be penalized if we're doing things poorly. I like this image because it says shift change from the penguin and the panda. Oh, thank God, I'm tired of destroying people's lives. So Panda came out 2011, Penguin 2012. They targeted weak, thin, duplicate content, spammy anchor text, and backlink portfolios. Oh, how can you tell if you've been affected? I think you're gonna know. I think you're gonna know when the phone stops ringing. I think you're gonna know when you see a drop in your analytics, your rankings, your traffics, your leads. So this is going to be something that will be hopefully something you can know. Otherwise, in the case of the limousine company, they actually didn't know for 2 years. So you can go into Webmaster Tools. You can actually see if you have a manual penalty put on you by Google. And usually that's more for a Penguin-related penalty because it's actually a spammy backlink portfolio. And usually Panda is going to be more algorithmic where you actually won't be told. But recovery is possible. And you can see in this graph an extension of the screenshot I showed before. Once you do recover, you will gain back that traffic, rankings, and leads. If anyone would like to know more about that, we did create a Google Penalty Recovery Kit, and it will help you identify what penalty you may be under, and then how to actually go about fixing it in the future. And that's at vert.ms Google Recovery. It is case sensitive. Okay, so mistakes, we talked about that, different types of format that you can optimize. Now, how can we position ourselves for SEO's future? It's going to be all about search. What are people searching for? How many of you have searched online before buying something to research it? Everyone. Actually, it says 93%, but I think it's most everyone of all consumers use search prior to making a purchase. So that means that we are looking for information, we are researching, we are comparing, we're trying to find out the information that will help us make a purchasing decision. I don't have this stat on here, but I really like it. It's actually about 70 to 80% of the purchasing decision happens before the person is speaking to anyone at the company. 70 to 80%. That's the time that we're using online to research products, to research services and organizations. 86% of searchers are using non-branded queries. They're not searching for your company name. They're not searching for an exact match keyword. They're searching for peripheral terms that will end up pointing them to you. So this is something to remember because it's something to think about when we're creating content. 90% of buyers are actually clicking on the organic search results. So Google is a billion dollar company, right? And they make their money on the side and the top with the paid ads and their ad revenue. But where we all literally make our money is in the search engine results, where it's organic and 90 or more % of people are clicking there. So buyers are searching for information that helps them make an informed decision. Businesses that provide that information will win. Think about yourself. Bring this down to the personal level. When did you last buy something? What was the process you went through? What was the business that won your business, and why did they win your business? So how do you do this? How do you become a winner, right? It's ideation. It's coming up with tons of content ideas that are well-researched to create that content to be on the end of someone's search. So answering questions that people have all the time. Now, I like to point to the movie Moneyball for this. I don't know if you've seen it. It's with Brad Pitt. It's a really good movie, and it's all about the Oakland A's. So Billy Beane was the general manager, and he said, I'm going to change our whole philosophy. What I'm going to do is I don't want to get runs. I do want to win games, but the way that we're going to do it is just get on base. I don't care if you're a catcher playing first position. If you can get on base, then you're on my team. And he was really smart because he knew the statistics. He knew that 1 in 4 at-bats was a hit. That's not that hard, right? That could be a great blog post that you wrote. But 1 in almost 1,700 at-bats was a grand slam, which in our world might be a viral success, and that's going to be hard. So let's focus on getting hits. In order to play content marketing Moneyball, you need to come up with hundreds of ideas so you can get up to bat and get on base. So here's how you do it. Research. Now, I use this example. My boyfriend is in the audience, so I'm sorry, babe. This is all about planning a Napa Valley wedding. But it's a really good example. I don't want to go there, don't worry. But this is using Google Keyword Suggest. So what I did was just type in Napa Valley wed, and it just started filling in ideas for me. And I want to point out that everything on Google Suggest are things that people are already searching for. It's a really great research tool. So as you can see here, I see packages, venues, photographer, what else? Cost on a budget, that's interesting, planners. And then I scroll all the way down to the bottom of the search results page, and I see related searches. I see packages, venues, cost, pictures. I just got 20 ideas for content. Now, what kind of business am I? I don't know. Maybe I'm a hotel, maybe I'm a wedding venue, maybe I'm a planner in Napa Valley. But these are all ways to get ideas, to create content, to find out what people are actually searching for and fill the gap with your content. This is a tool that you can use. It's called keywordtool.io. They recently kind of gated it, and you have to have a subscription, but you still get a ton of free ideas. You might just not get like the competition data. But this is a really great tool here to even get more ideas. And I put in Napa Valley Wedding, and then it will fill in everything with a letter after. So it will be Napa Valley Wedding A, all those words, B, all those words. You can literally get thousands of ideas from this. And they are based on Google searches, the Google Suggest. Another one, sg.serpstat.com, and I will tweet out these slides so you can get them. Another place to actually get questions people are asking. Yahoo Answers or Quora, there are 110 questions about Napa Valley Wedding. That's for exact match. And I highlighted a couple here that I thought were interesting. It says, where is a nice, reasonable place to have a wedding? And then below, does anyone know a low cost but nice place to have a wedding? So I kept seeing this, right? I kept seeing budget, affordable. I don't know why you go to Napa Valley for an affordable wedding, but hey, maybe you could. So I decided, okay, well, this sounds like a good topic if I was a wedding venue. So I went to Google. This is the next step of ideation. I decided to see, is there a gap I can fill with content about planning a budget Napa Valley wedding? So I typed that in, and I don't know if you can see if anything stands out to you in particular. What I see is that no one has created content with that phrase, except all my research just showed me that people are searching for it. So if I was any type of business related to this question and answer, then I would create a piece of content to fill the gap here. So this is just a little example of the process. So then you want to list all of your ideas. Once you've gone through this process for your own business, list all of those ideas in a spreadsheet. Get them all down, whatever, if they're good or bad, whatnot. You have the phrases, maybe turn them into a preliminary topic, and then take it a step further and say, is this a good infographic? Is it a good article? Maybe it's a blog, a video, free guide. What is it? And then on the far right here, I have a little bit more information about the competition that this certain keyword phrase might have, and also the volume of searches, just to add a little bit more where you might be able to eliminate some of them because they're too highly competitive or they have such low volume it's not even worth your time. Then once you have all those spreadsheets, take it into an editorial calendar. So I have two views here. The one in the background is a year broad view. So you say, hey, we're going to Digital Summit Detroit. How can we create content around this? Or we are a seasonal business that does great in summer and horrible in winter. How can we create content around this? And then take it down a little bit more specifically to an actual month view and get really down and dirty with the details here. Say on Tuesdays, we're gonna have written content. It's gonna be written by Quinn. I'm gonna have a post about this. Then we're gonna have a whole plan where people can align. You can align your people, you can align your processes, and you can align your priorities. The content calendar is probably one of the best tools you can have in content marketing and in optimization. If you want to download, we have this template. It's verticalmeasures.com/calendar. So I did a little example just to see how I can kind of prove that this works. And we have seen it again and again with clients. So we were doing a workshop kind of like this at Mesa in Phoenix. It's a suburb of Phoenix. And so we were at the convention center, and I typed in a search of restaurants near the Mesa Convention Center. And I didn't see anything. As you can tell here, the only thing that I see are actually Google Map places of interest. But there was no content of anything of the sort. So our VP has a ArizonaTourism.com website. By no means is it very authoritative. It's really not that great. I'm glad he's not here. But we created a post on his site. We optimized it with an image, with external, with internal links, and a good title that actually was just the keyword phrase that I typed in. Within 2 weeks, we were ranked #1 for this search phrase, and it continues to be at #1. So the whole point here is we need to all figure out our mistakes that we're making right now, but also protect ourselves and position ourselves for SEO's future, which is creating content that people are looking for and creating the answers to questions that people are searching for every single day. So what it all comes down to, optimization can be simple. It can be very, very simple, but it's essential. Don't confuse Google. Keep it simple, keep it streamlined. Make sure it knows what it's looking at. It is a robot. #3, build your content on a strong SEO foundation. Do not start building content marketing and expecting success until you know you have a backbone to your search engine optimization. And #4, be the best answer on the end of someone's search. That's what optimization is about today. If you would like to learn more about this, we finished writing this book at the beginning of the year. We're giving it away as a free download to everyone here. So we have, you can tweet it out or just go to vert.ms/cmworks, and we have a whole chapter about optimization and ideation. But that's all I have for you, so thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if anyone has questions, I'm happy to kind of hop in the back and chat with you then. Thanks.